I wonder if you might have any examples of very sophisticated schemes you've come across where you've thought, man, that was a good one.
I think the ones that are always the most shocking to me are the social engineering ones. And what's shocking is the scale that I'm seeing these happen at, right? The social engineering scams generally are specifically targeted. You're a high profile person. I can go online, learn all about you, learn all of the things that you like, and then it becomes easier to manipulate you. Now with AI, you can have AI do a lot of these things. And so a lot of these breaches that are happening on sites, let's say some gaming site gets hacked. Oh, well, it's no big deal. I don't have any credit cards on there. I don't buy anything, but your credentials were leaked enough that they were able to go through your posts and see what you liked. And now they have all of this AI has all of this crazy reference to be able to relate and manipulate you through social engineering. And so those are the things that I've seen usually through dating sites. Dating social engineering, that's a bit shocking, is how well the AI can pose as a person that fills the needs that the other person is looking for completely autonomously. And that is just like kind of terrifying.
Yeah, when you sort of talk about not trusting your eyes and ears, I think it's also important to realize that when you talk about personalization, because that makes it very easy to bypass trust. And I've seen scams where or more on the like extortion one where it goes, we know where you live, which might scare somebody unless you realize like, well, you know what? That's very easy to get, and someone can go on Google Maps and do it. So I really don't need to worry. This isn't doing it. But like you said with dating stuff, where you can pull a profile and then put very convincingly, and or the ones I see is airline that have almost gotten me are airline and package ones, because we always have packages coming. A lot of these package companies or whatever, they never have the most sophisticated interface anyway. So you're like, oh yeah, there's a package and there's 60 different services that may seem like a scam but are legit. So you go click, track my package, and
Yep.
and enter in some information, and boop, they have another one, or fly. My flight's changed, and those urgency things. And I think you mentioned social engineering that can really override your natural things. And maybe you could just touch a bit on social engineering and how somebody might use that to gain access, and what that is. I think sometimes people don't quite realize that.
Yeah, so social engineering is really plugging into somebody's online profile, or really just somebody in general. Mostly is the information is grabbed from online and social media. And then targeting them over some social media or dating platform based off of that information. And so, you could understand how this would be highly targeted, right? You're a very rich public person who lives in LA and is a huge Kings fan, and is, in your 40s and single. Somebody's gonna make a dating profile. They're gonna be in LA. They're gonna be really into hockey and the Kings. All of a sudden, they're gonna start to start these conversations and this relationship and bond over things that they know that you'll like, and slowly gain that trust in order to take advantage of you. And that's kind of what the social engineering piece is. To your other piece, just even about spoofing, I booked a trip to Japan 4 days ago, and the airline called me, and they're like, we didn't get enough money from you. So I didn't answer the phone because I never answer my phone. I called them back, give them the number and give them a case number and everything. From everything that I can tell, this is the numbers, the right airline that was on the website. Everything was correct. I called them. They gave me back my information, but they wanted me to give a credit card over the phone, and I would not give it to them. For everything I could tell, it was the right, but things are changing so quickly that I was like, well, I might just have to book another flight because I'm not going to give you my credit card over the phone. Either send me a form where I can validate this on ways that I know how to safely, or I just can't use it. And so I think that's kind of the environment that we live in.
Yeah, and I mean, you're right to do that, because this happened to my mother where she did the same thing, and she and even the airline's fraud investigators couldn't figure out, other than that their company had been infiltrated. She, being older, she wants to book over the phone, calls up a major airline with their number. And we went back to the call history, worked with their fraud investigator. They go, you talked to somebody there, and one there transferred her to somebody else, took the card, and booked 4 airline tickets with her points. And it's one of those things where you have to start having sort of these hard, fast rules where you go, it's almost like living in one of those zombie movies. Where you start making these weird rules and just having to make them a part of it, and starting to use tools more. Whereas before you'd go, this just isn't something I need to worry. I might need to worry about a door to door. My grandmother was scammed by some investment thing in Florida in the 70s, but that's what we're still kind of looking out for. But like you said, no, it's the individual things. It's those very sort of tailored pieces that people really need to familiarize themselves with.
Top 3 things to not get social engineered: not having a public profile, or not accepting random people. Only accept your friends. Anything that you're posting, can be a threat. Number 2, have a code or a safe word with people you know and trust. Inform them about deep fakes. Maybe you make your own deep fake to show them how easy it is. And then number 3, be cautious about the stuff that you're posting. Don't post your location. Post after you come back from a trip. Don't post your kids' faces or passport numbers. Make sure to keep that stuff out of frame. Top 3.